Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Monday, November the 14th, 2016, the day of the supermoon. Make sure you get outside tonight and take a look at it. It's only going to happen once in our generation. My name is Doug McKay. I am the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. We create multiple hypotheses in order to have a plan in place for whatever the market throws at us, and then we watch to see who's in dominant control and what the action is to fit into one of our hypotheses, and then we act upon it. This is a subscription room, so please, if you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog, this is not a commercial venture. We do everything live in the go-to session, in these live sessions, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, so we don't have a lot of news today, but we do have Draghi speaking at 10 a.m. That's about it. The news right now is going to be the whole uncertainty about Trump and his transition and the riots going on. So it's still going to remain volatile as we have this unknown about us, but be especially careful when Draghi is speaking today, because this could be the first catalyst of what's to come in terms of rates, etc., and the proposed rate hike in December from the Fed. Taking a look at Friday's action, we basically had an inside day. That was one of our hypotheses. It was Hypo 3, and basically we traded inside of the distribution zone, basically around that 57.50, where the VPOC was during most of Thursday. We just had a lot of chop on Friday, and they took it up and gave us our neutral day. At the end of the day, we said that we took that one long at 60.50 break for the break of the IB high to create the neutral day. We said we'd like to see it pop to 63, and it went right to the tick to 63, and then we ended up closing at 61.50. Take a look at the macro to the micro. I always like to start my day looking at the monthly and then working my way down into the intraday. I use a 9 EMA, 20 SMA. I'm looking for slope and separation, strength of the trend, where the trend is being challenged, and we're hitting a very important level right now in the Globex. We're challenging that 66 area. That is going to be our key line in the sand, our over-under. Today. Above that, we want to be targeting new all-time highs, and below it, we want to be targeting rotation back towards that 53, the composite microcomposite VPOC. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. Let's take a look at where we are. Got great slope and separation for multi-year trend on the monthly. End of 15, beginning of 16, they challenge it, then they take it back. They come down and challenge it again and take it back. We do have this rising 3 pattern that is setting up. If we get a close above the 91.50, this is a continuation pattern, and we'd be looking for move up into the 2200s, and we'll actually have a measured move off of this. I'm not going to measure it until it sets up. On the weekly, we're starting a downward trend, and then with the election, we went down and went limit down, and then we opened up, and we've taken it all back again. Our range last week was 152 points off of that limit down, and now we're getting slope and separation to the upside and a continuation pattern on the weekly. We don't challenge that until we get back down to the 21.49.34, and of course, those that have been around and know me know that I'm watching the 21.49 44 as my key line in the sand below us. Going to the daily, you see that we do have a nice strong trend starting. We are paralleling the 9 nicely, so we can see this continuation pattern starting as a start of a new trend. Going to the intraday, you can see that last 3 RTH sessions, this has been very prevalent. We did come down overnight and test the 20, and we popped up above it. Level you want to watch is at 65 1/4. Of course, I'm using the 66. You'll see when I show you on the VPOC Y, or on the composite Y. But the trend is up, but we are losing some slope and separation to the upside there. On the 1 hour, you got more of a consolidation pattern going here. We do have a naked cross all the way down here on the 1 hour at 21.01. That's where I think our real support is. Between there and the 21.05, 21.07 area is where our large support is. Below that, you want to start thinking a move back towards that 20, 80, 50, and possibly even down into that composite VPOC that's sitting down in the 2045 area. But right now, we're just chopping around. No trend on the 1 hour. Going to the 30-minute, we were starting to see some weakness coming in, and then they popped it back up. We're coming up to test the 20 from below at the 2169 area. So we are challenging the trend that we were starting on the lower time frame. As we move down into the 15-minute, we've already gotten above the 9 and the 20, so they're violating this downward trend and looking at a possibility of shifting it to an upward trend. And then going to the 5-minute, you can see they're accelerating that, and we're seeing this move. We do have a bit of a technical gap being created here, but this is a pretty strong move up. I didn't look on the 15-minute. Do we have a naked cross above us? No, we do not. Unless there's one higher. Let me just see. No. So again, coming into the RTH session, most of the time frames are looking to the upside, not to the downside. So again, our risk is to the upside. Our overnight VPOC is up there at the 2170. Let's take a look at the big picture. So I've got this microcomposite VPOC. This is the black outline here that the microcomposite VPOC is at the 5250, 53, whatever you want to call it. We have a value area that ranges from 6550 down to the 2120.50. We're currently above that. This is my over-under line today, 61.66. Above that, I want to be long into making a new all-time high as my main hypothesis. Below it, I'm looking for more of a move down towards the 52.50, but we could end up chopping between the 60.75 and the 52.50 today. We have not auctioned the upper wick. You can see that one of our hypotheses that played out was Hypo 3, where we got stuck in the wick. This was unauctioned territory. When you see these wicks, we generally come back and re-auction them and determine where the fair value was. We know that in doing that, fair value was right in around that 57.50. That is the 2-day microcomposite VPOC. It's also the VPOC from Friday, or was the VPOC from Friday, but they shifted it up on us. Or did they? Sorry. Yes, they did. It shifted up. Oh, that's Globex. What am I looking at? No, it's there. So what they did is they came back down and they auctioned and shifted value from Thursday that was up at the 69 area down to the 57. Anyway, so key levels to pay attention to: above 66, 70, 75 is our first target. That's basically the CHVN. We have the overnight VPOC at 2170. We've got the naked VPOC from Thursday at the 69.75. So there's strong targets there. Below 66, I'm looking for a move down into testing the range high from Friday, the RTH high at 63. And then if we get in below the inside of the range, then I'm looking for the naked close to get taken out at 61.50 and 60.50. And then I'll be watching closely how we handle this 59. Below 59, you've got the 57.50 and then the 52.50. 43.50 becomes our key line in the sand below us. Below that, we've got undetermined fair value down here. We're likely to come down and chop in around this 33.25 again. And you can see that on the shorter time frame here and on the midterm time frame here, your VPOCs are 32.75 and 33.25, and look for this area to be matured and determined fair value in this area. But right now, risk is to the upside, as I mentioned. Let's take a look at the overnight so far. Overnight, our high is up at 74.50. Our overnight low is down at 50, can't see it, 58. Just on top of that VPOC, our overnight Globex VPOC is not likely to shift. It's at 70. Our 20-day ATR is running at 26.15. So off of the low overnight, our upside ATR target is basically a couple ticks below the all-time high at 84.25. Our all-time adjusted high is 85. Our unadjusted high is 91.50. So we do have the range capabilities to come up and at least challenge the all-time adjusted high and take out that naked VPOC at 83.75. Our overnight high is up at 74.50. It still could be challenged because we're only a few points away from it, but as it stands right now, our daily downside ATR target is basically at the low from Friday and sitting at 21.48.25 with our RTH low on Friday at 21.48.50. So we have an LVN. We have a double distribution overnight. A little bit sloppy on the lower distribution, but expect it to remain toothy. And guess what? Our LVN overnight is 66. No surprise. So our 66 is going to be our key over-under line. I can call it the key line in the sand, but basically, I think we're going to go chop around it. So I'm going to call it our over-under. And above it, we're going to be targeting this 69.50, 70 area. There's really not much to guide us. There's a little bit of an LVN right here at 71.50, so I'm going to be watching that 71.50. But if we stay above here, I'm looking for a move up towards the range high from Thursday up at 78.50. And then anything above 78.50, I'm targeting new highs. And I want to be long and stay long above this 78.50 into the 90s and get these two highs, this unadjusted September high and the adjusted all-time high at 85, and take out this 91.50 and then targeting the 22. Into the 22s, we've got I got some measured moves I want to put in. I haven't put them in yet, but I'm not worried about getting there today. But the first target above 2200, of course, would be the rule of 10 and a move into 2210. Below the 66 CLVN, I'll be targeting that range high at 63. And then below that, that's also the midpoint from Thursday. Below 63, I'm targeting the value area high at 60.50. This is a valid value area. So if we get inside of the value area, then I'd start looking for a rotational day with a downside bias towards that that microcomposite VPOC at the 52.50, and a trip through value. Our value area low is 53.50. And of course, key targets inside of value will be the 57.50 and the overnight low. Take out the overnight low. So those are all the levels I really need from the Globex. So let's take a look at what our main hypotheses are. Right now, we're going to be opening up outside of range, outside of value, in around the, overnight low is what, 58.25, right? We're going to be opening up right around Thursday's close to close this gap. We're struggling at the 66 right now. It's pretty volatile coming into the half-hour flip right now. But my main hypothesis is a open auction out of range, or even an open auction in range. We do have 30 minutes. And then I'm looking for a move down into the 57.50 area, maybe down into the 53, and then finding responsive buyers and rotating us up through and out of the range and up through into the overnight high at 74.50, and a push through into the 83.75 area. So main hypothesis is basically responsive selling into the open, a move down into value, chop around in value, find our buyers, and then rotate us slowly up and grind us up. Now, there's a hypo A2 or a hypo 1B, which is we open auction in range or out of range, and we come down and we reject either the range high or the value area high and leave this overnight low and this VPOC alone, and then rotate up and move up through there. And there I'd be targeting the 91.50 because we'd have a much stronger initiative buying coming in if they reject the value and reject the range. So they're both very similar. As I'm looking for the market to continue to move up, but we got to come down and find some buyers first. Now, whether we find them above value or inside of value is the only question there. Hypo 2 is an open auction out of range, a move up, take out the naked VPOC, and somewhere between 69.50 and 74.50, finding responsive sellers, and then rotating us down and coming down into value and chopping down in value and getting a late day probe to test Friday's low. So hypo 2 is open auction out of range, a push up, fail somewhere between the 70 and the 74 area, and then rotate down into value, chop inside of value, and get a late day probe to the low from Friday. So that's hypo 3. Hypo 4 is an open auction out of range, a move down into value, chop inside of value, and then get failure and a move down back towards the 43 area. And I have to put that in there. I don't know why I didn't put that in there. 43.50, and this is our key line in the sand below. So hypo 3 is an open auction out of range, a move down, chop around in the value, and then get failure and get a continuation push down into the 43 and possibly even push through down into this 33, which is our next big target below. So that's hypo 3. Hypo 4 is an open drive or an open test drive. The test drive being a test of the range high and a test of the 69.50. Buyers taking control, push up through to the 78, chop around here, then get continuation up into the 91 and a trend day up into the 2200s and closing somewhere either in the 2200s or just below the 2200, but definitely a test into the 2200. So those are my four main hypotheses with a alternative hypo 1, and basically it's just how low we go on hypo 1 before they find the buyers. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market session. We're currently above the Keltner center line. That basically takes us back into the test of the range high. If we hold it, a move up to the upper Keltner will take us to that naked VPOC. Below the Keltner center line, a move down to the lower Keltner line will take us down into the 5750 by the time we get there. So that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.